Good morning. Good morning. How we doing, everybody? We're here ready to rock and roll and execute. Had a little bit of a stub toe that maybe took 5 minutes off, and after that impromptu meeting, it's been quite the packed morning. But I'm excited to hop on here and share with all you guys, who I share my love of getting 1% better daily with. Happy to share that I had a great morning, action-packed morning. Got a lot of great stuff done, got some good information, some good insight, had an impromptu meeting, and it's always great whenever you have like a good foot that you start your day off on, right? With some momentum. And that's what we're looking to do here during this pre-market prep session. So I see all you guys dropped your ones in the chat already. You're ready to rock and roll. So I won't hold us up. Let's dive into what we got going on today, this fine morning. So, our top news, the DC universe. Should members of Congress be allowed to trade stocks? The debate that has triggered phrases like insider trading in the free market economy has played out for years, with even popular websites tracking the buy and sell activities of lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Raising fresh ethical concerns, a new bipartisan group of senators, including John Ossoff, Gary Peters, Josh Hawley, and Jeff Merkley, have unveiled a new proposal that might see some action later this month. What's in the bill, if approved, the Ethics Act would stop lawmakers in Washington, D.C. from purchasing stocks and other covered investments, as well as barring members from offloading equities 90 days after the bill is enacted. Starting in March 2027, spouses and dependent children of members would also be prohibited from trading stocks. Violations of these rules would result in penalties of either the official's monthly salary or 10% of the value of the assets in violation of the legislation, whichever is greater. It's a big deal. Members of Congress have a lot of privilege and classified information that can move stock prices as well as financial incentives from companies that routinely lobby lawmakers. Those decisions could also play a role in how much a given stock is worth. And Congress sought to counteract that in 2012 by passing a bill known as the Stock Act. While the legislation requires lawmakers to disclose trades within 45 days, many say it doesn't do enough to prevent insider trading and conflicts of interest. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't. And I don't really care to, even go through the last paragraph of this because it's not really worth discussing. At the end of the day, people in power are going to figure out how to utilize that power for their own advantage. It doesn't matter what rules are in place or regulations. Da, da, da. I think it's a waste of time to be preoccupied with someone else's pockets when yours are hurting, right? That's a victim mentality. Not even when yours are hurting, just to continue to focus on your own, right? It's a victim mentality that I don't prescribe to. At the end of the day, if let's say that Nancy Pelosi or whoever else you're complaining about can't trade anymore, does the government then say, you know what? And because they can't trade anymore, we're going to take their trading profits and we're going to give it to you, the people? No, right? Your life before Pelosi being able to trade or after her being able to trade is exactly the same. It is literally exactly the same. So for me, if me paying attention to it will not cause any benefit in my life directly, I don't pay attention to it, right? Or at least I don't give it energy, right? Because I'm focusing on something that I can't control, which only serves to frustrate me, right? It only serves to frustrate me. If you're focusing on things you can't control, you're just frustrating yourself, right? So I don't focus on them, the insider trading, or anything else. This is a tale as old as humanity, right? Those that are in power are going to use power in order to provide some type of benefit or leg up or advantage. If we were in power, we would probably do the same exact thing, right? So I don't care. I don't fault them on it. In whatever convoluted way they come up with to try and keep people from insider trading is not going to keep them from insider trading, right? They'll find some way to do it. If it can't be my cousin, it'll be my best friend from high school, right? People will find a way. So yeah, that does not interest me at all. Now, consumer news going up for the first time in 7 years. Costco has hiked membership fees for its nearly 52 million customers. The news helped shares climb 3% in pre-market trading, along with a 7.4% jump in June sales, which topped comparable expectations in the latest quarterly results. Effective September 1, annual basic membership fees at the big box retailer will rise to $65 from $60. Ooh, wee. I mean, honestly, that's completely fine, right? We need to do a better job of praising the people who have worked to keep prices the same. So hats off to Costco. I salute you, right? For you to finally do this after all the rampant inflation is pretty remarkable, right? Same thing, Arizona iced teas. Keeping those iced teas 99 cents. I get it, they're 99% water, but still, I salute you. right? There are too many brands where we complain about the rising prices and all this, and then these guys that really hold us down for us, we don't do anything for. So we need to have parade for Costco, for Arizona iced tea, right? For that, what is it? Is it the dollar hot dog they have at Costco or something like that? Like these guys are the real heroes, right? The CEOs are like, look, we don't care. We make enough money. We're good for generations to come. I'm going to keep that hot dog a dollar. I'm going to keep that tea a dollar. Respect. Effective September 1st, annual basic membership fees at the big box retailer will rise to $65 from $60, and the executive membership plan will increase to $130 from $120. While high inflation has forced consumers to cut back on spending, Costco's low prices continue to attract shoppers, driving strong sales and increased market share. There's also something to learn from that, right? Not always will kind of high prices be that thing that put you over the top, right, for others. Sometimes you getting, those loyal people at that price is a good way to go. So yeah, I mean, Costco, keep it up. I go to Sam's personally, but grew up going to Costco. It's just now whichever one's closer to me. Financials, guilty as charged. Bill Wong, the Tiger Cub, quote unquote, founder of Arch Egos or Arc Egos. I don't know. It's not often a word stumps me. Archegos Capital Management has been convicted of fraud and market manipulation that led to the hedge fund managing over $36 billion in assets at its peak before its 2021 collapse. A jury in Manhattan found Wong guilty on 10 of 11 criminal charges. Um, Archegos' collapse led to more than 10 billion in losses for banks, including Credit Suisse and Nomura, ticker NMR, and over 100 billion in shareholder losses for the fund's portfolio companies. Honestly, don't really care about that news. Economy inflation check. The consumer price index will be published at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That was published. Let's go ahead and check that out. Of course, that is, the main focus of the week. So we'll see. The beautiful thing is that SPY went and ran to our daily bull flag price target two before CPI data. That is the definition of threading the needle and what has made this week such a great week. Last week, the big focus was watching the daily bull flag breakout on SPY. We got the daily bull flag breakout on SPY, and SPY hit daily price target number one. We're kind of thinking, okay, going to CPI, we're going to cool off. What are we going to get? Will we run all the way to PT2? And we ran all the way to PT2 with a big day of buying yesterday. So hats off to SPY. Beautiful execution by us with SPY last week during the holiday week. Right, SPY, Apple, all of them had breakouts lining up last week, and the iron was hot to strike. And that hot iron definitely left a mark in portfolios. But it was one that we like there, right? A nice little branded profit. Now, in terms of the info, right? Looks like SPY initially at 8:30, we pushed up a little bit, and then now we pushed right back down to break even, maybe a little bit up of where we were before CPI came out. So let's check out what we got going on here for CPI data, market updates. Okay, so US CPI month over month actual is minus 0.1% versus the 0.0% previous. Estimated was 0.1%. So that sounds amazing, right? That sounds amazing. And it also makes sense given the run that we had yesterday. So far, typically, right, a few times this year, we've got a run in that last hour, right? Really the afternoon in the day before CPI data gets released. And I talked about that yesterday in our trading group, right? Again, immense insight. Success leaves clues, right? It's so much easier rather than you tripping and falling over yourself in the market for years to come through with someone who's already had multiple years of experience saying, hey, this is actually something to look out for. And that's what we got yesterday, right? The market started pushing, right? Afternoon, you look at right around noon, we started kicking it into gear a little bit, inching. And in that last hour, we really shot up. And typically that's an indication of the data that we're going to get. And that's exactly what it was here today. We got a decrease in CPI. We expected there to be a 0.1% increase. We got a negative 0.1%. right, result. So we got a decrease of 0.1%, which is bullish. Does that mean we automatically rock it? No, right? It doesn't. Nothing is guaranteed in markets. You got to see how price responds, but it is bullish. US CPI month over month, June actual minus 0.1% versus 0.0%. Previous, the estimated was 0.1. Year over year, actual is 3%. Estimated is 3.1%. So it was positive for both of them, both of the increases in CPI. Inflation, right? Both month over month and year over year were better than expected. So all that bullish. U.S. short-term interest rate futures rise after CPI data as traders boost bets on Fed rate cuts. U.S. stock futures turn positive after June CPI data. Spot gold extends gains after U.S. CPI data last up 1%. Rate futures price in 85% chance of a September Fed rate cut after CPI data, up from 70% before. So now there's a big possibility that they're pricing in of a September cut. July now, July, August, September. Fed swaps pricing more easing after June CPI. All good stuff. Traders see 25% chance of third 25 basis point Fed cut in 2024. So as of right now, right, we are starting to not only expect a rate cut in 2024, but expect it in September. And not only expect one rate cut, now there are starting to be expectations of multiple rate cuts, which can happen. It's not at all out of the question. It makes sense. And what does it also time up with very nicely? The US election, right? You see the components starting to come together. Like this is what it's like when you get 1% better each day. You start to see the components come together and these things line up, and you're like, I feel like I'm running the Matrix. I feel like I'm starting to see, right? I don't know if you've seen the Matrix movies, but when Neo like starts to see the code in the Matrix, that's what you feel like when you're here for these pre-market prep sessions and you do, you're involved in events like Kaizen and you're part of, AI Made Easy and you're part of Stock Options Made Easy. You start to see the way that things tick around the world and you're like, I'm feeling dangerous, right? I woke up and I'm feeling like I might be a problem. That's what you start to feel like when you keep track of what's happening in the world and you see the dots start to connect and you're like, this is what you're doing. This is what the plan is. I'm gonna go ahead and hitch my wagon to that too, right? It's an amazing feeling. It's an amazing feeling having some semblance of like what is going on broader around you instead of you just being like, man, I got all these problems and I don't know how to solve them. Start with getting 1% better. Start with getting 1% better, expand your vision, expand your mindset, right? Your mindset is the lens through which you perceive opportunity. You will not have more opportunities if you keep exposing yourself to the same experiences, right? You expose yourself to the same experiences that forms your knowledge base. That knowledge base is the foundation of your mindset. The mindset is the lens through which you perceive opportunity. So if you keep doing the same things, you will keep getting the same results by actual like logic, right? By actual logic, you cannot randomly come into something at all, right? It doesn't happen. You got to put yourself in a new environment, cultivate a new mindset, and then the miracles start to flow, right? And I'm happy that we can be a facilitator of that and continue to be each and every freaking day here. Now, CPI data, that's good. We'll see how the market ends up reacting to it. Today's markets in Asia, Japan up 0.9%. All this has actually changed since the data came out, so I'm not really interested in reading it. The biggest thing now is going to be PPI data tomorrow, but CPI is what everything hinges on. So, I mean, SPY crushing it, right? We're also in the midst of it firing this big old, weekly. It's firing weekly bull flags and monthly bull flags. So we got, stuff to keep an eye on. We have upper price targets, and I'm ready to dive into that. So I'll get into that important analysis here after we hop off the live stream. What else is happening is Google shelving its takeover plan of HubSpot. We'll finish up with our rapid fire stock news here. The Netherlands, Denmark are sending F-16s to Ukraine per Antony Blinken. Pharmacy benefit managers to face FTC lawsuits over insulin. AI prep Intuit to let go, then rehire thousands of workers. Weird. Tesla's Optimus design will be completed in 2024. That is their humanoid robot that I was talking about yesterday. Neuralink could implant second brain device within weeks. Apple reaches deal with EU over tap and go tech. Newsroom overhaul. Warner Bros. CNN cuts 100 jobs. It will only continue, right? Job cuts will continue. Streamlining will continue. You making sure you know how to put your money to work for you in markets, and also you making sure that you know how to leverage AI are going to be the two most important things. I have been saying that for the past few months. I will continue saying it because I want to make sure that when I lay my head down for the final time, I can look back and say I did everything I could. I controlled what I could control, and I tried to spread positivity as much as possible, right? Not only positivity, but application, right? I'm not a big fluff guy. I'm not a huge, oh, hey, you can go out and achieve your dreams. How? Make your money work for you in markets, utilize AI. How do I do those things? Cool. Here's how you learn how to trade in markets. Here's a resource for you to continuously do that. AI, how do you learn about it? Here's Kaizen. Here's AIM, a source for you to continuously do that. Right. Like I'm all about not just the fluff, but the application. There's always a way. You weren't ever sent here without a way for you to power through and to escape, right? So who cares if they're cutting jobs, right? I'm going to be so good that they can't cut me. And if they do, I won't even have to go work for anyone else. I can work for myself or I can immediately get a job somewhere. Why? Oh, hey, I actually made this for you. This will help you streamline operations. Here's my resume. They're like, whoa. Oh, by the way, I thought of something else and I made this for you while you're going over my resume. Check this out. Holy crap, he made both these things. Where is this on his when has he done a job? What does this have to do with? That's the person they want to hire, right? The person who is, oh, I know I don't work for you yet, but here's this amazing asset you can use. And I know how to make this and stuff like it, right? It speaks for itself. Be that guy, be that woman, right? Crush it. Citigroup ticker C fined for failing to make progress on 2020 consent orders. You need consent, Citigroup. Everybody knows that. While support Biden's reelection bid is facing new peril. Yeah, it is what it is. Uh, Biden, Trump, whatever. We're gonna focus on getting the bag. All right, everybody. We've had another great session. We got that in the books. Let's go out and crush markets today. We've had immense success here this week. I'm very excited to continue that, right? But as well as remain patient. I'm not going to let the market or these profits burn a hole through my pocket. That's the biggest thing, right? For everybody who isn't in anything, you wait to see something good to enter, right? Like EA yesterday, or one of the opportunities that was outlined. Wait for something to enter. For my people who got paid, right? If you were here last week and you weren't on vacation and you were in these swings and you got paid, do not let that money burn a hole through your pocket. Let it settle. If you had $500 to trade with and now you've got $1,500, use that same $500 you had a week and a half ago to trade with and do not touch that $1,000. Don't do it. You will give it back immediately. There's like an 85% chance, right? So take it, withdraw what you can. Do not touch and immediately trade with the money that you got, and it's a rule to live by, right? I'm telling you. Otherwise, I could almost guarantee you'll give it back. You're high off the green, you're feeling it, you're feeling amazing, you're waiting for the next thing, you're gonna dump twice of what you put in the last trade on it, and if you lose it, right, suddenly you're almost right back to where you were when you started. Don't do that. Pay yourself, manage your emotions. Let's continue to win, right? All right, everybody. We'll wrap it up there. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning for our last pre-market prep session of the week. Have a good one.